Hi tribe, how you doing? It's Kaz here, one of the admin. Jumping on about the astrology week. I hope it seems to be going down very well. I've obviously put some posts up today about Virgo, so I was going to go into a bit more detail about that because I actually have a chart that the good old Shelley Hills, one of our admin, helped us all find and do. So to let you know how you could find it, we have put a post up. It's actually under www.astro.cafeastrology.com. So that's astro as ASTRO dot then cafe as it sounds, and then astrology, so that's all one word, and .com. If you go in there, you actually put your name, your gender, your birth date, time of birth. Sometimes obviously you might not know it, you may not have your birth certificate, etc. So you just click on unknown, birthplace, and obviously language if you wanted to something different to English, and that will bring up a chart for you. So I've managed to get 3 sort of basic areas under there. So we've got the sun sign, the moon sign, and the rising sign. So I'm going to try and explain a bit more about Virgo and what sort of came up on my chart. And I think what is pretty true about most Virgos, I've got quite a lot of Virgo friends, etc. And yeah, just wanted to sort of share that with you. So obviously the sun shines, signs even, sorry, tongue twister there for me, represent vitality, a sense of individuality, and outward shining creative energy, which I kind of like when you think about it. So yeah, Virgo is obviously from, I can't remember, I think it's the 23rd of August through to the 22nd of September. I was born on the 30th of August, so I'm sort of like smack bang in the middle, I guess. I'd say, and definitely I think about myself, that I'm respectable, hardworking. Even though I've got chronic illness, I'm still constantly trying to do things. Definitely have a love of knowledge and know-how. That's just totally me. You may see the symbol, and it's a symbol of Virgin, and that's actually indicating a certain purity of spirits, rather than what you might be thinking. And also the lovers of anything natural, which I would definitely agree with. Anything to do with nature, I'm the person. I love anything to do with nature, basically. And I think most of my friends I've met be kind of like plants and gardens and trees and being by water and goodness knows what. So I think that's quite thingy. We can be self-sufficient and self-contained on the surface, but actually I think if people really knew us, we're actually very sensitive to our surroundings and sort of energy and people and all the rest of it. Even though I'm quite a bubbly person, I would agree with this that we tend to embarrass easily. If you put us in the spotlight or on the spot or did something like, I don't know, not expecting, we'd probably be really mortified and would probably want to go and hide. There's definitely a side of me that could be reticent when faced with anything or anyone new. I'm fortunate that I have other parts to my personality, with the moon signs and stuff, that I think sort of jump over that, but it's still there. If I don't feel comfortable with someone, it will definitely be there. But yeah, once comfortable, I'll talk the hind legs off a donkey, and I think most of my Virgo friends would agree that they're the same. We're definitely not comfortable in the limelight. I'm not one for, I don't know how to describe it. It's like having an audience is quite difficult. So doing this has been really hard for me, but actually the more I've done it, the more easy it's got, if that makes sense. Knowing people are listening to something that you're talking about is quite a big deal. I wouldn't be a natural actress or getting up and performing on stage or anything like that. That would freak me right out. So I think quite a lot of Virgos would just want to happily work in the backgrounds. We do like to be appreciated and useful, though, I have to say. we definitely have a strong sense of responsibility. I haven't met any of my friends, even work colleagues over the years that are Virgos that don't have a strong sense of responsibility. And we're most definitely warriors, and I think that would definitely come up for other people. I'm definitely like this. If not involved in something like some kind of project, I kind of feel discontent. I don't know how to describe it. I have to be doing something. I have to be thinking about something, managing something, whatever it is. I definitely, before I got chronically ill, workaholic is probably a good one. I put my heart and soul into my job. I was a qualified social worker, and I literally put absolutely everything into it. I had a busy, busy life, but it's weird. We're still very restless and nervous people. I think we just have so much energy. I think that's what it is. We're just living on our nerves. One of our biggest fears is underperforming. It's very strong, and I'd agree with that. Although we don't like the limelight, we certainly do not want to fail, and we certainly do not want to be like mediocre or average. That's just not going to do for us. We like to do things well, like, the whole 110% full in there. I've definitely felt like this. If I feel like I haven't done a job to the best of my ability, I will, like my standards, I will feel incomplete, and they will probably nag me for a long time. I'll be like trying to think why and sort of thinking about it. We're kind of a fun mix of intellectual versus practical, which I'd agree with. And that's probably the sort of earthiness to do with Virgo. We're an earth sign, so we have that kind of practicality sort of side to us, but we're most definitely intellectual. This can come across as coolness, which, yeah, I suppose it could do with some people. But we're actually very self-effacing and shy, and I would agree with that. I mean, if I say to some people, like I said to my carer the other day, and she thought it was hilarious, I said, oh, I was so shy when I moved to London, like when I was, 18, didn't say boo to a goose. She nearly fell off a chair, absolutely wetting herself. But that's still true. There's still a deep down. I've had to literally push other sides of my personality out, and sort of train myself to be much more out there, if that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely think, Virgos are very good at this. Again, I think it was part of therapy, which I don't mind talking about, that actually helped me do this, where I realised that actually brushing off compliments doesn't make the other person that gave the compliment feel good. So by actually taking it in and saying thank you, you're kind of sharing the love. And that's taken me a long time, but I do have other friends, and they will literally come across as critical. Like they will just say whatever you've said is a load of rubbish. We definitely need respect and appreciation. I was literally talking about my counsellor earlier. I have bereavement counselling, by the way, if that makes sense. And and I sort of said, oh, I need this, and maybe that's not a good thing. And she said, well, why isn't it a good thing? So I think that's just part of being a Virgo. And we're definitely the happiest when we do feel appreciated. So I reckon anyone that's commented today will agree with me. We definitely need to be busy. I don't like kind of hyper kind of people. But I don't mind saying this. I reckon we're the sweetest, kindest people around. We will try to help anyone. We want to help others. We want to serve others. It's in our nature, basically. We're very analytical, which I think can come across as the coolness, but I think we just can't help but analyse everything. Can come across as reserved, and I can still be reserved in some situations, definitely. Critical, I think that's what the sign's known for. And I'd actually say we're much more critical of ourselves than others. Like, we will literally beat ourselves up about the most minute detail and sit and be awake probably till 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'd say probably all Virgos probably have pretty poor sleep, or some kind of issue around it. I don't know if it's just, who knows, but I think we like to be helpful and conscientious, and I think the conscientious bit comes from feeling like that sort of great sense of responsibility. It says we're intelligent, and I do hope I'm intelligent. I don't know if I should be bragging about that or not. So I think that sort of sums up the sort of Virgo sun. I don't know if that resonates with anyone else, but I just wanted to sort of put it out there and sort of have a chat about it, or and sort of see it from a Virgo in a face point of view and someone talking about it rather than just posts. I'm sorry if it ends up being a long video as well. So when it comes to the moon signs, that's obviously about our emotional responses. It really is everything to do with our moods and how we react to situations and stuff like that. And I happen to be basically split between Taurus and Gemini. Now, I'd always known about the Taurus for quite a long time, but never looked into the moon sign bit any further. But I actually did a chart recently, and it actually said that the moon was in transit, so it was between both. And it actually explains my personality to a T. So this chart that we've done from Shelley has just blown my mind to pieces. That's why I wanted to jump on and sort of talk to people. So the Taurian side of her is obviously still very earthy because it's another earth element. We're very determined individuals, but we like familiarity as well. So you can see there's like some similarities with Virgo there that, we don't like new situations too much. We very much feel with our senses, which is why we're quite emotional creatures, I think, with a Taurian moon. We can be very sort of like stuck in our ways, I suppose, and I can see that definitely from my point of view. I do love material comforts, I can't lie. It's not that I like overspending, shall we say, but I like to have a nice flat and be happy in a nice home and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, Taurian moon, if any of you can relate to that, if you've looked it up on your chart, that's kind of where it's coming from. You like to build a home and it's very important to you. It kind of gives you that safety and contentment, which I think all Taurians, even the sun ones, are probably looking for. We are very, very stubborn, and I would agree with this. You cannot force me into doing anything. I will literally dig my heels in like the bull, and you are not going to shift me. And I know I can be a bugger for it, but I'm not going to change. But I'm also, if it's something I really want to do, or if it's something I believe is worth doing, or whatever, or etc., I'll be fully committed and will persevere, till the end. This will happen. I will not give up. It will be done. I think very steadfast sort of individual, and that sort of steadiness is very comforting to others, and I think I do comfort all my friends and family and stuff. I thought this was quite amusing, this one that came up, and I'm dying to know if there's any Taurian moon people out there, or anyone, even Taurus sun, who can relate to this, where we like to stay away from drama and messy situations. Can't be dealing with it. I have no time for it whatsoever. I want peace and quiet, and I want a reliable and secure life. I don't like arguments work. I don't like arguments at home. I don't like conflict and rubbish. Just drama. I thought this was another interesting one, and I'm dying to know if anyone feels this. Sort of struggling with recognizing the partner's need to change, grow, or emotional stimulation. I have to think about that one. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't thought. I'm definitely very romantic. I'm a big soppy cow, and I love anything like romantic cards or a bunch of flowers or something cute, or even just a chocolate bar that you've thought about me. I'm very sentimental and warm. I have a whole room here full of teddy bears, and I've had some of them since I was about 6 years of age, and I ain't letting go of them. They have come everywhere with me. I have so many little things that people have given me over the years that I just won't get rid of. I just can't. It's the sentimentality. I pick it up and I will remember, and it will make me happy. It says here that we can protect ourselves in their own interests. I'm not sure about that one. I have to think about that one. It'd be nice to hear if there's any people out there that think like this. We definitely don't sort of like jump ship, if that makes sense. We like to really think about a decision, and if we think it's safe, then we might move. So that could be moving house, it could be changing job, whatever. And I think sometimes that hasn't helped me because I've had to, I've stayed too long somewhere or whatever, and I should have moved. But, we all learn in life. I'd say we're very reliable. We have good instincts, though, so we're not always wrong. It's just sometimes we should have gone quicker. We're usually the kind that would face conflicts in the relationship and will endure and stick it out, basically. We're just not ones for breakups. We're just not going to go there. We'd much rather fix it, basically. We have a serene nature, which is calming to others. So I'm dying to hear if anyone thinks that about me. So kind of a very sweet sort of nature, convinced of our own ideas, very strong-willed, which I'm definitely. I think any of my friends out there that hear this, they'll be laughing, going, yep, that's her. Foresighted and willful, most definitely willful. I agree. I know how to trust, and I usually go from the point of view that everyone's trustworthy until they're not. And it's not naivety. I just refuse to be bitter and twisted and not to get to know people because I'm scared of being hurt. It's just not me. I definitely appreciate all good things in life. So I'm down to hear from other Taurians. Whether that's your moon or sun sign, that would be kind of cool. And appreciate and protect nature 100%. Like, it's so me. I got upset there was a spider in my bed this morning, but I wouldn't want to kill it, so I just managed to flick it on the floor so that it would be able to go off and do whatever it wanted to do. I wouldn't want any harm to come to it, even though I don't particularly like spiders. It's interesting here, it does say there's some negatives with Taurians, but it didn't really have it for Virgo. So Taurians are known for excesses and pleasure, and I've definitely had an addictive personality, so I'm thinking this is where it comes from, where maybe too much drink or comfort eating. Like, I love indulging in food, so that's possibly where it comes from. And sometimes retail. Like in my 20s, I got into severe debt with credit cards because I just wanted to spend money and get lots of clothes, and which probably we all did in our 20s. But it does say we can be lazy, which is interesting. I've never really thought of myself as lazy, so I'm not sure. Interesting one on that. Sensuality and thoughtlessness. So that was the thingy. I'm like, oh, can I be thoughtless? I'm not sure. Be interesting. How have I thought Taurians have been thoughtless before? I think maybe it's more a case of being the bull in the china shops and not thinking that they shouldn't say something, rather than they're being thoughtless, but it may come out as thoughtless, if that makes sense. So anyway, I hope this is not boring you. I've just seen this is 20 minutes long, so I might have to cut this, but I just wanted to have a go.